Hello, welcome to this playthrough of Elden Ring, where I will be in the co-pilot seat and Branwell will be driving. This is a lore playthrough, and in every video there will be spoilers because this is intended as a vehicle for Branwyn to explain her theories on the lore of the setting. So if you'd rather develop your own theories without being influenced by other people's, or don't want to be surprised on some of the deep lore of the game, this is not a straight playthrough of just playing gameplay focused. This is a lore focused playthrough. So you might want to give this a pass if you want to avoid big spoilers. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video. And we're ready.
Hello, welcome back. I'm just having a drink.
Remember to
Also
hydrate.
named Branlin, and I am here with Thryth.
I am
And we
here
would,
with Brenwyn.
yeah, and we are here to talk about why is the Storm King's apparently the Storm King sigil. Why is it the symbol of the Golden Lineage? If the Golden Lineage is linked to Godfrey, who was the one to defeat the Storm King.
Right.
It doesn't make a lot of sense at the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we're going with like a bunch of people don't really think that Elden Ring is linked to Dark Souls, but we've talked about it before. There's the Queller angle. There's
Yep.
a lot of indications that it is. And I've said previously that these guys, the Exiles, their hoods look exactly like the hood of the Storm King from Dark Souls 3. And yes, I do have to go over all of this to like show. Basically, I'm showing my working here.
Yep. Show your work. I did teach geometry for a little bit of while.
Yeah. Now, here's where it gets. Here's where it gets interesting, and I start to get into some of the darker, like not darker stuff, but like some of the stuff that I can only suppose based on the evidence. If
I hate pole arms. I mean, unless I have one.
Oh yeah, no polar. Yes, that is how the pole arms do. Um, yeah, You're not the only one with a crossbow.
Yeah, I love this in Neo 2 where you start getting good enough that with the bow. I'm not good in combat, but you start getting good enough that it's like headshot, headshot, headshot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you get to that level, it's good.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy short bows in this game.
Yeah.
We'll get to that at some point, but all right. So the reason that I'm like hesitant talking about this is that I feel like cat amongst the pigeons here.
Uh-huh.
If the lion rampant is the symbol of the Storm King, and is now the symbol of the Golden Lineage.
Right.
I guess it's possible that Godfrey took it as a rite of conquest. But if all that's true, and a lot of the other indications that we're going to get into it, it could be that first Elden Lord Radagon is the Storm King.
Oh.
Um, I don't know if we've talked about Radagon yet.
A little bit, I think, but not in depth. I think it was mentioned. I think it was been mentioned.
Yeah, we've talked about his what is probably his statues. I hate this thing.
What? What were the people here? I'm just. I was holding this back until the fight ended. It's just like, why
Yeah,
is there a giant blade attached to that lion?
why does that lion have horns?
Yeah,
In case you didn't notice.
I
Yeah,
did notice. Yeah.
um yeah, no, this is one of the things. So the lion is the symbol of the golden lineage. There is a chained and shackled lion who has been altered in the same way as the eagles that
Mm-hmm.
work for the golden lineage are.
Right.
Um, so so that's like that's Godfrey stuff. Like
Yeah.
Godfrey conquered the lion, and they're now like his altered soldiers.
Right. Right.
Um, so the thing about Radagon,
Very Grand Admiral Voss. Yeah.
oh yes, yeah. So okay, Radagon.
Yep. The thing about Radagon.
If Radagon is the Storm King,
Mm-hmm.
um, one of the things, this is major spoiler, if you're out there and you do not want to be spoiled about this game, turn this video off right now, stop watching, go play the game.
And we have warned you several times in several videos.
Yeah. Radagon is Marika.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how could Radagon be Marika, and if the also the lion
Uh-huh.
and the Storm King,
Right.
um, remember what I said about the reversal ring?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing in these games. Gwendolyn, a lot of people like kind of assume because when you wear the reversal ring, you just get the femme mannerisms, and you're not going to chase us in here. Good, all right. I don't have to worry about defeating that then. Now we have banished knights, giving a
Salute or kneeling.
yep. And all through this tower are statues of Radagon. Now we know this is Radagon, aka the Storm King, because he's hooded. Radagon's hair is red, and he
Okay.
doesn't, for some reason, he doesn't like that his hair is red.
Uh-huh.
Now, there's a few reasons he could not like that his hair is red. The first one is that red hair, like giants in this setting, all have red hair. It is the mark of their fell god.
Right.
And the giants are the enemies of the gods since time immemorial stuff.
Okay.
You'll notice this bridge here. This is an ancient bridge. It's leading to one of the divine towers. We have more statues of Radagon that are so old that they have stuff growing on them.
Yeah. And there's a
These
giant.
golem, this is a golem.
Oh, okay.
Uh, these golems are the creation of um, what we call the Rao civilization,
Yep.
which was a collaboration between the glintstone sorcerers and astrologers,
Okay.
uh, their society, um, and the giants, the fire giants. So the fire giants were forging. The fell god was the god of fire,
Yep.
probably the god of fire, probably a smith god. Eventually, we will go to the Forge of the Fire Giants. It's a very important place in the lore.
Okay.
Um, and
That's
now
a
we're getting links to that civilization and Radagon via these divine towers. And yes, this is rough.
yeah.
So
I saw
it's
one fall. Did one of its allies knock it down?
yes, they do have hit detection against each other. You can try and use that. But
Ah.
I am just going to run from that fight because I am not wielding an appropriate weapon for this.
Do they not bleed?
They don't bleed. No, you've got to knock them down and stab them. So big
Yeah.
weapons that deal a lot of poise damage things.
Got it.
Now, on this part of the bridge, there are eagles who aren't enslaved. They don't have the stuff on them. So
Right.
there are giant eagles that are not part of the whole golden lineage thing.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so Radagon hides his hair because it's red. People generally think it's because of a quote-unquote curse of the fire giants because Radagon fought in the wars against the giants. And Radagon is Marika, so, you know, yeah. But Marika's the instigator of the war against the giants because giant flame is one of the only things that can harm the Erd Tree.
Ah. You have the capability to harm this thing, so we are just going to remove you.
Yes. Except they could not extinguish the fire in the Forge of the Fire Giants. It is mostly extinguished. It's not all gone.
Interesting.
All right, so
Does the lion at the end of that line respawn, or is it a one-time enemy?
that is a one-time energy thing. Thank Marika, I guess.
Yep.
Um,
Oh no.
so this is the Great Rune.
Yep.
So now we will be able to activate that and get a really cool buff. But
Okay.
yeah, this Great Rune is here with a dead Two Fingers,
Yeah.
who's looking very woody.
Yeah.
Whereas several of the ones that the one living one with that we see is quite fleshy.
Yeah.
And there's another dead one that we'll see later. These divine.
I'm trying to think. There's a leshy creatures in Russian myth that are like tree spirits or forest spirits or whatever because they're massive.
Yes.
That can pass themselves off as humans sometimes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So here we have a meteorite embedded in ornamentation that's a circle with 8 dots around it.
Mm-hmm.
You see this a lot you see the circle with 8 dots and a central dot, a lot in fire giant symbiology,
Okay.
because it's the eye of the fell god.
Ah.
Now, from here, we can see a bunch of stuff. We can see more divine tower, another divine tower. We see Leonia and the academy there, and Stormvale.
Okay.
In the distance, there's Mount Down. Was that you?
The ding sound?
No, there was a sound of like breath past the microphone.
That probably was me then.
Okay.
Not deliberate. Just my microphone is incredibly sensitive.
Yes. New mic too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have the Erd Tree and we have Lane Dell at its not quite its foot, but you know what I mean. It's on the plateau just there.
Right.
We have a total of 6 of these divine towers.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them is linked to one of the shard bearers, and right up there on top, at the very top of the mountain, is the Forge of the Fire Giants.
Okay.
Our current goal is Langdell.
Okay.
We go over here, we can see the Beast Temple. That's where Garank is, the Beast Clergyman, who we're collecting Deathroot for.
Right.
And then over here is Caelid, and the Redmane Castle is in the distance over there.
Got it.
Just above my head. And then to the south, we can see where we've been, Limgrave.
Okay.
So, yeah, Radagon as the Storm King, if their symbol is the Lion Rampant, if they were the Lord of Castle Morn, Stormvale, and the Round Table Hold.
Right. Okay.
Then Godfrey comes along. And defeats the Storm King.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, okay, what vengeance was the Storm King getting? Well, the Storm King was exiled because they sided with the dragons. The defeated dragons who, you know, who were the enemies of the gods.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, there are so many god names in this. Godfrey.
Godfrey. Yep.
First Elden Lord Godfrey. His statue is here.
Okay.
That is the first Elden Lord, the Lord of the Tarnished, who was exiled and everything.
Right. Right.
He takes over Stormvale, obviously, after that.
Okay.
He takes the Beast Lord Sirosh on his back to curb his bloodlust, so that he can rule as befits a civilized king. Before that, he was a bloodthirsty murderer, and there's every indication that he's a tyrant.
Okay. I mean, Godfrey is the same one that's attaching weapons to animals, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or at least the golden lineage is like,
right.
And Godric, his, his descendant, is making these grafting things.
Right.
The grafted scions. You know, nasty family. And yeah, there I go.
Ouch.
Damn. Doing this and talking is a whole thing. Doing this with a dagger is also a whole thing. There might be an argument for me switching up my build and going back to what I usually do. Yeah, but I'd have to respec, which really sucks. I'd have to respec. I have to go and do Renala, but so we can cross that bridge when we come to it. But
Okay.
before that, I was going to sneak through here. Did I get that? I got that. Yes. Did I come over here and get these? Yes, I did. I got the iron whetstone from there. The only other important thing here that is this, the Highland Axe, which is an indicator. It's underneath a painting of Godfrey, and it shows that Godfrey was a member of the Highland Warriors, who are a fairly important culture in the setting. A warrior culture who used to fight bears in order to prove their strength.
Okay.
They fought bears barehanded.
Oh, joy.
Sometimes they fought bears with their own claws. So they fought bears barehanded with bare hands.
Oh, my God.
Okay. All right, so the Storm King is banished. We have a bunch of banished knights. We have a bunch of exiles. So the Storm King was a god of war. So, if the exiles and the banished knights came with him after he was exiled, they stayed loyal. They were veterans of wars against dragons. They're tough.
Right.
They're tough guys. Godfrey inherits them, like that whole army.
Okay.
All through Stormvale, we get Storm Ashes of War, which are, the Storm King knew storm magic and fought dragons. Storm magic, the Storm Ashes of War, they have a long range, which is useful for fighting against dragons.
I see.
Dragons are also fairly weak against piercing. In fact, piercing damage is their only weakness.
Against dragons?
Yes. Ancient dragons in particular.
Okay.
Because ancient dragons have the stone scales.
That resist time. Got it.
Yes. Okay, no, that's where I came from. I'm going up here. So, and the Storm King was a dragon hunter. One of the things that he and his friends used to do is go around hunting dragons.
Okay.
Hence, we get the Dragon Communion Church, which is an indicator that they weren't hunting ancient dragons necessarily. They were hunting drakes. Which means, that they were allied with Placidusax. Which makes sense because they got exiled because they were allying with the ancient dragons. That's like... But then there comes the question of, okay, so why
are their arms so long?
Anyway, why are their arms so long? Yeah, well, no, people are weird in this setting. All right, so we just picked up the Mana Tower Shield, which depicts the real Round Table hold with the rampant lion insignia.
Okay.
All right. So Sorcerer Rogier came through here, so we will deal with his thing in a moment. So I need to stop beating around the bush with this one. Let's rip off the band-aid here.
Okay. It is
So
24 minutes. I think also ripped off the band-aid's a good place to switch.
yeah, yeah, let's do that.
Yep.